Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Here we go. We are playing Warhammer. Let's go. Hell yeah, super excited to play some 11th edition. Here we go, here we go. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. And yeah, it's our boys. It's our marble versus gold. We are right back at it again like we never left. Let me show you what we got here. We already have deployed here. Here we have our friends marble. This is our blade champion with his beautiful wardens right here, and marble is of course playing. Yo Flood, what's up, what's up? Marble is of course playing Purge the Foe, where we're gonna have to kill enemy units. Not the easiest one to do in a 1,000 points game, but we're gonna try. Marble also has here the nice bike champion, bike captain. Yes, indeed. And of course, on the other side, we have gold. This is our sitting Trajan with his guard. And then here you can see an absolute, total, and complete coherence trademark. Beautiful how it is, 100% within 9 inches, although this is just representative because of course this is just a normal small table. We have deployed here our Terminators, our Alaris, and that's it. That's all we get. Of course, other than we have, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. We have here our reserves. So this is Trajan and his guard. And this is our blade champion and his wardens on the gold side. Yes, indeed. Chaos. Yeah, looking forward to playing you Chaos, mate. Looking forward to it. Absolutely. How is the stream coming through? All good? So, as you can see, we already deployed. I'm going to switch here. I'm going to be switching here the camera between back and forth. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I can obviously go to the app. We're going to go obviously into the command phase. There's not anything to control from before. But of course, let's just remind you that within Purge the Foe, marble here is going to want to kill enemies, get 3 VPs for killing an enemy unit. Also, of course, gonna have VPs for controlling objectives, for controlling more objectives, and we're gonna have also last turn did you kill more units than you lost. Of course, this is very difficult for a 1,000 points game, and gold is gonna have his priority assets. In this case, the mission for priority assets in this case is to control the central objective and to make operation markers. So we're gonna have to do actions to try to place these operation markers in the different areas in the no man's land. And of course, controlling objectives, also VPs, controlling central objectives, and as well control opponents' home objectives. So you might be thinking, yeah, but you have just a small table. I got you, fam. Check this out. Boom. So this is coming from our picture editor, our image editor, and I have it all set up as we can do measurements using lines. So I'm gonna select here a nice thick line. Hopefully everyone can see. But In fact, first of all, we're gonna have the roll off to see who is gonna play first, who actually gets to make the first move. This is something I haven't done yet, so let's roll off. As always, I use white dice represents marble and the red dice represents gold, and it's a 6. It's a 6 here for gold. So gold will actually get to play first. So gold will want to control these central objectives. I'm gonna be consulting everything several times. Of course, let's start make our moves. We're gonna win our command points here at the start. So actually, in this case, will be here. Opponent goes first. This deployment map is called Vital Link. Let me activate it for you. You can see it right here. So we have our Alaris over here. They're gonna move 5 inches. So this is the movement that they would actually make. But of course, that would be in his movement phase. Here on the command phase, what we immediately gonna want to do is we're gonna pay 1 CP and use our Unleash the Lions. And Unleash the Lions, what it does is separates this unit of Alaris Custodians into each of them becoming an individual unit. So now they're able to move independently, act independently. And you might have noticed here, this is one of the kind of rare missions where you actually have 2 central objectives here. So we're gonna have this one right here and this one right here. They're gonna count as 2 different objectives. So this is something we're gonna wanna keep an eye out. So they now will move each of them independently the way I've got it set up. So we know that this unit will be able, so I can now hide it from here. So you guys can see that this Alaris is gonna move his 8 inches inside here. So we can see pretty much most of everything that we're gonna do will be through this image editor, and this allows us to make sure that we're making these valuable moves and also do the measurements. So this other Alaris Custodian is gonna move here. He's actually gonna go back slightly because I knew one of them was here, but we're obviously gonna want to move as closer to this edge as possible. We're gonna be closer to here because of course we want to be always separated as much as possible. So that's 1 unit goes over there. This other unit that's right here is now gonna want to move kind of into the open, but not as much. Let me just make sure. It is gonna be a bit in the open, but you know that is something that we have to do if we want to control all the central objectives and place our operation markers. We're gonna have to move like that. Of course, we're actually gonna advance this unit because we want to get in there as early as possible. So we get a 5, so we're gonna be able to move 10 inches. Of course, this will not allow us to do an action, but we'll be able to be inside and then hidden, as we have not shot. We are hidden, so people will have to come close to us and have to be inside this terrain area. So here in the game is actually just representative. Our real game is mostly played here on the picture editor, and then the other one will make maneuver here towards, yeah, we're gonna advance him as well. So that's a 3, so this other one will move 8 inches. It probably end up inside here, the safety of our home objective. Yeah, exactly that. So he ends up here having some cover and being also screening. Of course, we know we're gonna have to be screening our objectives. Perfect. So gold, of course, we're gonna move right away here our bikes. These bikes will so they will move their normal 12 inches. They are set up through here. They can actually be able to cross inside the terrain. So we're gonna measure from here. "12 inches, we'll put them over here. Then they are actually able to spin, and I think they will be in contact with this area. So that would mean that these Vertespirators, as they are in contact through this area, they can shoot through this area. They are able to shoot through this area, and that means they actually have now visibility as they are within here 10 inches. They are able to shoot through this door. They are able to see through this opening, and they are actually able to shoot here Trajan's unit. They will oh sorry, this is of course here our Blade Champion, but of course we're gonna want to make our next move. We were a bit cheeky over there, so our next move will obviously get us inside this terrain area, and we're actually gonna be able, as we deploy that over here, we're actually going to be able to land here on top of this area with 3 of our units, and the other 2 will be down here. Let me show you exactly how it sits after this movement phase. Here we go. Our bikes were able to advance onto this light cover. They're touching the light cover, so now they can see through it, and they're able to shoot through it. And in this case, they are about 10 inches from this unit, and they This unit is of course inside the terrain area, but they can actually be able to see it. So they're here to try and screen it, try to do some damage, maybe get a charge. We'll see if we can get a charge onto this terrain area. Our unit here, so this is an elevated area. They are now above and they made a normal move. This is Trajan. This is our Trajan stand-in with his 4 guards. For easiness, I consider all guards of Trajan are using sword and shield. So like that. So they have the sword and shield. That's actually only 12 range in the shooting. They have 4 wounds because of the shield. All of the wardens are using spears, and of course blade champion. And our other 3 units, you can see one managed to take cover here inside our home objective. This unit advanced into cover into one side of the terrain, but this unit just made a normal move, so this unit will actually be able to start an action on this turn and place one of our control beacons. Let me pop that mission for us to see. Wahapedia still doesn't have the 11th edition missions, but no worries, we're gonna be able to check it out from maybe some other source. I'm not sure exactly now, but yeah, it's like I mentioned before. So the exact text is to place operation markers. So we're gonna start here on our shooting phase. Thanks everybody for joining. Welcome to the stream. We are playing Marvel vs. Gold. Yes, indeed. So we're gonna go straight into our shooting phase, and I usually like to start from one side so I can know everything that's been going on. These units, their units are not gonna shoot. That unit, like I said, he's gonna start placing one of our operation markers, and these will be our green markers. He's going to be able to place it right here. He actually just made a normal move. He didn't advance, so he's able to do it. Right now we're going to go and shoot with our 2 normal vertesprators. Let me grab my dice box. I want to also use this opportunity to, while we're doing the stream, to to actually run some data calculations. So vertesprators, they're gonna have salvo launchers. Each is 1 attack, and they have ballistic skill 2, so they're gonna hit on 2s. So they both hit. These have strength 10, while our wardens and blade champion have they have toughness 6. So we're gonna be wounding on 3s. But of course, since we're isolated from any other unit, we don't have any unit within 6 inches of our unit, as you can see here from our map. So we don't have any unit within 6 inches. They're actually going to be hitting on 2s, as they get +1 to wound and +1 to hit under so that obviously, so these guys would actually be in cover, but since our detachment gives us +1 to wound, +1 to hit, this is another point that's important to make. That's why we were hitting on 2s. In this case, we would be normally hitting on 3s since they're in cover, but we were hitting on 2s because our detachment, which is the Emperor. Yo, Rooster, what's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, my welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. So yeah, that's why we were hitting on 3s, because under 11th, we're obviously gonna get, we would have -1 to ballistic skill since they're in covers, but we get that +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So having strength 10 against toughness 6, we would be hitting on 3s, but of course, again, we're gonna be hitting on 2s. And they both hit. So now there's no more there's nothing else but the saving, and you don't get bonus to the saving, to the armor penetration. You're not going to be getting that. So our salvo launcher, which has twin link and has AP -3. That means we will only be saving here on a 5. So we're gonna need 5s to save. And no saves. Very strong. Vertesprator starting really strong. And now it's gonna be a D6 +1 damage. So let's see what we got. Oh, and one is gonna hit 4 and the other one is gonna hit 3. So that's 2 wardens dead right away from the very start of the game. Very strong start. So these new rules are actually showing their power right away for Custodes, especially because Lions of the Emperor with the +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Finally, that +1 to hit will always be doing work under cover. Anytime the enemy will be in cover, we actually will be able to ignore that cover, which is fantastic for yeah, and it's a 2-hit because not only it will be ignoring that cover, but also they will not be getting the AP. We won't be getting the AP -1. So it's doubly strong, doubly improved. So yeah, 2 wardens instantly go down. Marble has 1 AP, has 1 CP, but we're not gonna be wanting to use it right away. Quite early in the game. So that's gonna be our shooting phase, and we can go back and show a bit what we got here. Let me open here. Hopefully everything is coming through quite clear, and appreciate you guys checking out the stream. Kind reminder to hit the follow, hit the like, come hang out. So here we go. That's what we got. Those 2 verters managed to touch that light cover over there, and that gave them visibility through to see inside the building. And yeah, so they would be of course in cover, but yeah, they wouldn't they were not positioned behind the wall itself, so there was visibility there to take out a couple of units. There we have our marker where we're positioning one of our markers on our mission. Yeah, this is some new terrain I just added to what I already had. Let me know what you guys think. Is that cool? Gonna be better, gonna paint it a bit more. But yeah, really like these visuals. Also got this little tablecloth that looks a bit like a bit of ruins. Yeah, really happy with how it's improving. So we won't be able to do much more right now. We have of course spent 1 CP. So one thing that I need to double check here are the rules for the missions. We got it. We got here a cheat sheet. Oh, okay. So missions primary. This is vital link. See if I can show you the picture here. It's a first time finding out this website. I can actually send you this link if you guys want. This apparently has here all the dispositions. Yeah, absolutely. I've already ordered some models to start playing. For sure, I already got some Timu stuff coming in to stand in to start playing. And I got some tanks coming in, got some walkers, because I'm gonna wanna do to test out with Custodes. Also, the you know, they also have some very cool walkers on there. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait for them to get here. They take forever. Sometimes it's really fast, and other times they take forever. So let me go over here to okay. Gonna have to add one more browser capture. Oh, ignore all modifiers. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I really like Trajan as well. As he stands now, he also ignores modifier to hit, and to ballistic skill, and to weapon skill. So he ignores also cover. Not everything, but ignores. This not only ignores cover. Yeah, he's gonna ignore that cover for sure. So let me get this browser display. Oh, come on. No. I'm getting it all messed up. Browser source. Okay. No, I don't want this. I want another window capture. That's right. I'm a bit blind. Yeah, fun with OBS, as always. Let me see, is it this one? No. Out of two, I had to click the wrong one. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show. Let me move this a bit down here, because I think this will be very interesting for us to be able to see. Hey Jed, welcome here, welcome to TikTok stream. Hello. Yeah, I'm playing some Warhammer, man. So here we go. This is the different cards. I'm still trying to interpret how this, so priority assets. So yeah, so our priority assets versus the Purge the Foe is mission Vital Links. Now I'm just trying to find it. Here it is, Vital Link. So this is what we're trying to. A vital communications node is located in the midst of this battlefield. Control of this node is crucial to the continued success of your armies. Ensure it does not fall into enemy hands. So any battle round at the end of your turn, you control one or more central objectives. Okay. For each of your operation markers within range of one of those objectives. Yes. So that's what you're gonna see in the reverse. This is from second battle onwards. We don't need to check now. So let's see here the reverse. If we can find it. Doesn't appear to be... Oh, where's the reverse? We don't have the reverse picture here. This is some kind of translation. Let me make a copy of this. I think that so that I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, because it's important to read exactly what it does. I need to see this reverse of the vital link. Here we go. So it's here. Maintain control. Your shooting phase. One enemy unit within range of one central objective. Once per turn. End of the turn, if your unit controls that objective, place one of your operation markers within range of that objective. So it's actually better. So it's not an action. So as you could see, we only have to have control at the end of our objective. So we actually are now in control of both of these central objectives. So we're gonna put our marker here. Very interesting, very interesting. This is why it's so important to have all the details of exactly what it does to the detailed description. No, not that. Why is it not letting me? Anyway, we don't need it right now. But it's here when we need it. I'll pop it on. Perfect. So again, we're gonna want to read that again. Make sure we understand the mission fully. Vital link. This is objective action. Okay, so this is okay. So this is where it says your objective action starts on the shooting phase. Use limit once per turn. End of your so once per turn. Okay, so so we're not gonna be able to do again on this turn. Yeah, so it is an action. So see, we have to read it very carefully. So it is an action that you do on an objective. Starts on the shooting phase, and the friendly unit is within range of a central objective, as we have here, and we started there. So we'll actually place one operation marker right there. Good. See, perfect. So we're gonna go to the end of this turn. So we're gonna, at the end, we're gonna control one central objective. We have placed one operation marker. So actually, let me see. Any battle round, end of your turn, you control one or more central objectives. For each of your operation markers within range. Yeah, so this is each battle round. So right now, these new missions, it's important to denote that you won't just calculate missions at the start of the second turn. There are missions that are actually triggered at many different times. As you can see in this mission, you actually have at any battle round, in this case end of your turn, so end of any turn, you're gonna be able to score this mission. Then our second battle round, you have end of the command phase. We have here another objective, and then end of the battle, we have the big one, control the opponent's home objective, 10 VPs. So this is definitely something we wanna take into consideration. It's gonna be, it's not as simple as it was before. Right, perfect. We are gonna go now to marbles first turn, and we have in fact here already won some victory points. We're gonna now gain another CP. Marble is gonna wanna kill enemy units. Marble is doing purge the foe, and purge the foe, we're gonna have 3 VPs for killing one enemy unit, and of course we have then control objectives coming on the next turn. Control more objectives and kill more units than you lost. So that's gonna be another important thing. We have here a good advantage that we can try to get a number here of units. So I'm gonna show you. Where our marble units are right now. Here we go. Marble. We have here our captain in our Virtus Praetor, in our Dawn Eagle jet bike, it is called. Thanks so much for the like. Thanks so much for checking out the stream. How you doing, Jed? No, we don't want none of that. Let me ban this guy. Perfect. So, there it is, our field captain in Dawn Eagle jet bike. What do you guys think of that? Look at, actually it looks pretty cool, huh? When you get just a nice little base, bit of terrain, it starts looking cool. Then we have our second unit here, our 3 Terminators. Real God? Where's the real God? Well, show me a real God that can't even kill a corpse. And here we have our, what is left of these wardens that took an actual beating here from those bikes on turn 1. So we're gonna go to our movement phase. So again, as we have for marble, we have to kill the foe, we have to kill enemy units, we also have to control objectives and control more objectives than the enemy. And this already started quite it starts off difficult for such a unit with such low number of units. And so we have to we have here a small advantage where our enemy has divided his units into several smaller ones, so this can be a disadvantage. And I actually saw someone comment units like needs, so needs and units that so armies that have a lot of small units, or that can generate something like scout units, or they can consistently generate individual units. You can feed into purge the foe a lot and allow him to kill easy units to always kill more units than you lost. So it's important to take that into consideration. So now in this our movement, in this our command phase, what I'm considering is Marble gonna want to separate his units. Tzeentch. I mean, Tzeentch is the most civilized of the Chaos Gods, if I'm honest. If there is one that has any kind of interest to me, probably would be Tzeentch, if there was one of them. Khorne is way too one-dimensional. Nurgle is just smelly. Just... nah. And yeah, Tzeentch definitely would be the most attractive of all, if any. But too early for that. I mean, there's always Slaanesh as well, so... But no, Slaanesh is too... That's for what's it called? Yeah, let's swiftly move along from Slaanesh, because I don't think... Yeah, he did nothing. He should have done nothing. I wish he did nothing, but he did not do nothing. But yeah, I do appreciate it was an accident, but I mean, it's still incompetence. Sure, even let's admit, okay, yeah, it was an accident. He didn't mean to. He wasn't trying to. He had good intentions. I mean, you're still incompetent. You should be better than that. You should just do as you're told. But yes. So I think it is within our interest to not pay our CP to divide a year. So we're not gonna have any actions to do on our command phase. We're gonna move swiftly along. And oh, so I actually kind of, let me see. No, so we wouldn't be able to, in this case, to charge. We were at 10 inches. We would have to pay 2 to be able to. We were at over 10 inches. So yeah, I forgot to mention that. So we were at 10 inches here from this door. So we wouldn't be able to charge because we would have to take to the skies with the bikes. And so to take to the sky, we'd have to pay 2. Even if we wanted to get like a 12 for charge, we didn't have any units nearby that that could charge. We're gonna be then, you know, it's obviously gonna be very slow as I try to get everything okay. So we're actually here in a good position to actually kill some enemy units. Let me measure here. As we had set up our terminators, let me show you. So we have our marble terminators here in this position, and they are actually able to move 6 inches and land right inside this building. And that means they will be able to shoot and charge and kill a unit. They would be, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. So you can see our markers here that we leave towards so we know how we're moving, what we're doing. Let me delete this one. Our blade champion, so they're gonna move 2 inches. So the blade champion has something really interesting where he can re-roll charges. And at the start of any phase, their wardens can activate Feel No Pain 4+. And once per turn, the blade champion can also advance, shoot, and charge. So we have quite a lot of interesting abilities here with the wardens, and also the wardens also have something really interesting, that when they are being led, when they have a character leading them, so if the strength of the attack is greater than the toughness of the incoming damage, they actually are able to get +1 to their, so they actually do -1 to the wound roll. So if the attack is greater than their toughness, you get -1 to the wound roll. What we're gonna do is advance, actually just make our normal move. So they would be here. Let me go back. Let's see. So 6 inches actually will put us in contact here, and I believe, yeah, we'll be at 2 inches away. So that's perfect. Okay, let me turn that off. We don't need to see that now. Wait, Pat? Who's Pat? I'm a bit confused. So I'm considering here at the end of our movement phase, do we want to do anything else? Of course, we still have to move. Oh, so now all the again, this is another rule on the 11th edition. All attacks that will be, so it was used to be called Fire Overwatch. It's now Snap Shooting. So Fire Overwatch will only happen at the end of movement phase. There is no Overwatch at the end of charge phase. This no longer exists. And you cannot do Overwatch during the movement phase. You do it at the end. So always you'll be able to do all your movements, and then after the movement phase, you will ask then you can fire Overwatch at the end of all the movements being done. We still have one more unit to move, of course. We do want to control objectives and kill units, so I think it will be very interesting to actually move our captain and get some objective control. We're gonna save him for some attacks. So we don't really need to measure, but I'm gonna make the mark here on the map so we kind of know what where he is, what he's doing. I might have wanted to at some point separate our units, but I won't do it right now. I think not necessary right now. So we are going to the shooting phase. We actually did not advance here or here or here, so we're able to shoot and we're inside of the building. So we actually are gonna want to take our shots, and as these are two different areas, so we actually will not want to be shooting into that area. They would actually gain cover, but actually we are ignoring that cover as we get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So that's very interesting. So we might want to be actually shooting. And this takes us back into countering the enemy's missions. This is very interesting because we have different objectives. Our objective is to kill and control objectives, but the enemy is the operations markers. They have to have the operation markers. So we're gonna go back to our enemy's mission where they have their vital link mission. So you control one or more central objectives, but for each operation marker within range of those objectives. So it is, of course, in my interest that he does not control that objective in his turn. So I will. This is a great point, and this is why I love to study the game in this form. Let me show you. Very interesting indeed. Hope you're enjoying this format of 11th edition streaming. So here's our situation right here. And I think this is a great learning moment. We are playing Vital Link. These two objectives are distinct. This is one objective, this is a different objective, and I'm breaking it up. But no worries. What happens is our enemy will only get his point if he is in control of an objective that has a marker. He was able to put a marker on that objective, but I want to, of course, make sure that he does not control that objective. So it is much more interesting if I can take him out and make sure he does not control that objective at the end of his next turn. So he does not get not only the point, but he does not get his bonus for the marker that he has. Of course, he might then just move another unit on there if he can. But if I take him out, he will have to do that if he wants to get his points. He won't be able to come screen me, attack me, or I can simply try to take him out now and then try to do a charge and then see if I can charge into him or into him. But this is another point that's very interesting. So I may be able to charge either of them, but if I take him out, it's much easier to charge that one. And being that I get +1 to wound and +1 to hit, and I have visibility to him, I will shoot into that other building. Quite an interesting situation. Our Halex Custodians Ballistas Grenade Launcher. We're actually going to do one attack at a time. And why? Because these are D6 attacks. That means I'm not sure exactly if we can declare different units to be shooting, be splitting our attacks. But let's roll the first dice and let's see what happens. So these will be 4 attacks. 4 attacks at ballistic skill 2. He does have cover, but we get him +1 to hit. So that means we are hitting on 2s. So we're gonna have to, of course, roll 4 dice. Yeah, they all hit. We have strength 4 versus toughness 7. That would be hitting on 5s, but we get +1 to wound, so we're going to be hitting on 3s. Sorry, on 4s, duh. Wounding on 4s. And 3 of them wound. We do have blast, but blast will not obviously not do anything here. So now we have AP -1. That means that Halex Terminator will be saving on 3s. And he saves all of them. He saves all of them. Perfect. Let's go to our second Terminator. 5 attacks. Maybe I need to set up a second camera just for the dice. Yeah, next time. I think for now you guys can actually see if it's here. So we're gonna have 5 attacks again. We would be hitting on 3s, but we get +1 to hit, so we're gonna be hitting on 2s. This Alliance of the Emperor just got that much stronger, baby. And one of them does not hit. Again, wounding on 4s. Because we have +1 to wound, though our strength is lower. We get +1 to wound, so instead of 5s, we're hitting on 4s. Sorry, wounding on 4s. So 2 wound and 2 fail. And she'll be saving on 3s. Ballistic skill -1. Saving on 3s. And 1 goes through, so he gets 1 damage. And I'm doing this because, of course, like I said, these are D6 attacks. I don't want to roll 12 attacks or 16 attacks at the same time. Or even possibly 18 attacks. Who knows? Could have been 18 attacks. I don't want to roll them all into the same unit if I can avoid. So that's why we're going through in this situation. So that Terminator is going to get 1 damage going through. So he's now down to 3. Let's put it our counter here so we don't forget. So he's down to 3 wounds. Let's go to our third Terminator, and he's gonna roll only 2 attacks, hitting on 2s. They both hit, wounding on 3s. Wounding on 4s, and none of them wound. But of course, that's not all. That was our grenade launcher. They now have their spears. So their spears are going to be 2 attacks each. They are strength 4, AP -1, damage 2. So they are again hitting on 2s. Ah, we got 2 of them that go out. Not ideal, not ideal. Wounding on, so strength 4, again, it would be on 5s, but it's now on 4s. As we get the +1 to the wound. And only one of them actually wounds. So he survived. He actually survived. So for now he survived. So he will now be saving again AP -1, saving on 3s. And he does save. So he takes only 1 damage from the ranged. We're gonna move over here on this side as we are touching this light cover. As we are touching that light cover, we actually are able to, of course, shoot through it. And it's gonna be 6 attacks, same profile as the spears that we had here. 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, even though they're touching. So yeah, hitting on 2s. Because even if they don't have cover, 1s always fail. And they all hit. wounding, of course, on let's see, so wounding in this case, the Virtus Praetors, they have toughness 7, so yeah, we'll be wounding on force. So 3 do not wound. AP -1 means saving on 3s. Oh, and 2 go through. Interesting, interesting. So that's actually 4 damage that go through onto our bike. And each of these bikes has 5 wounds. So they went now. To 1 wound. One of our bikes is down to 1 wound. So what we actually are gonna want to do, as gold still has 2 CPs, we do have this is actually very interesting. We do have a stratagem that is called Swift as an Eagle. So in the opponent's shooting phase, just after enemy unit has shot, our unit is able to do a normal move up to D6. So we're gonna want to roll a D6 and see how much we can move, because it is very interesting as we actually are around 2 inches of distance. So this will be a normal move. So we either can try to move away, move behind, try to get some cover, but first we're gonna have to roll. Very interesting here. So let me show you. So what happens is, let me try and make this look a bit better. So our, let me put, right, so our wardens and our blade champion, oh, we got the wrong image up. There we go. Our wardens and blade champion are here. They just shot us from here, and we are over here touching. Our 2 oval bases would be something along the lines of this, touching over here. What happens now, we're gonna make this D6 move. We're gonna use our 1 CP there. We're gonna use our second CP. And what happens is we're gonna be able to do a move up to D6. So we can either try to get a bit further away to make it difficult. If we get a good roll, we can try and fly over them. Actually, I'm not sure. Let me see. So in the 11th edition, what are the rules for the movement of mounted vehicles over light or over dense terrain? Oh, it's not vehicles, it's mounted. So we actually, no, that's not actually what we're looking for. It's actually for the fly or mounted units. Fly units / mounted units. So you move like normal ground units, go around or over terrain using normal movement rules, including vertical distance, or take to the sky. Subtract 2 from the maximum distance of that move. Move through all models. So this is what I thought, and this was something that I was mentioning the other day, which I believe that definitely one debuff that the Virtus Praetors got is their skill where they fly over a unit. So right now they actually have to take to the sky to fly over a unit. So it just became that much harder to actually do it. They cannot go over units to hit their skill. So in case you don't know, Virtus Praetors, one of their abilities is if they fly over a unit, they're actually able to roll a dice for each model that flew over another unit, and then on each, let me just make sure I get the exact. So for each 2+, that enemy suffers 2 mortal wounds. What happens is now to fly over a unit, you have to mandatorily pay the 2 inches, where before you could actually fly over units without paying. With the new fly rules, to be able to use this skill, you actually always have to pay the 2. So in fact, in this case, I would actually have to roll either a 4 to even try to move the 2 inches. Even then I could not move over one of them. So probably need a 5 or even a 6 to actually be able to actually fly, to actually go to the sky and fly over a unit. But we have paid already. We are going to use it because we want to make that charge as difficult as possible. We want to try and get maybe behind that dense terrain or something like that. And who knows, if we get a 6, we might pull it off. And we got a 2. So we actually are definitely not going to be able to fly over them. This would take us to the sky, but we would not be flying anywhere if we did. So we're only gonna move 2 inches from our position over there. And you're obviously not gonna want to be going into our unit and lose our +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So I want to be still 6 inches away, which actually is quite difficult while retaining cover. We're not that far ahead, we're more back there. But the point is, we won't be able to fall back into any sort of cover. But yeah, we're gonna move 2 inches into, let me see, perhaps I think we might be able to be touching that top terrain. I think that's the best we can do, and I still staying. So this makes their charge a little bit more difficult. Not a lot, but it does help now, where he actually will have to roll now a 5. That's why it's so important. That's why this move is now much more important, because whereas previously he could have ended his last move within an inch, we would move 2 inches. It would actually only would have needed 4, but now so it would only actually would have needed a 2 to get back into sorry, a 3 to get into our engagement. But now you will actually need a 5. Because we were at 2 inches. Let me see. So in the previous rule, it would have moved into over 1 inch. That means they would have a guaranteed charge on the previous rules. Right now, there are no more guaranteed charges. Guaranteed charges are over. You will not be able to position yourself in a situation where you say, oh, I will 100% get this charge. That does not exist anymore. Why? Because you can always roll snake eyes, and you have to be over 2 inches. Whereas before, not only could you be, it would be overkill, because even so on 10th edition, you could actually be at exactly 2 inches, or furthermore, you could actually be at 3 inches, and you could roll a 2, and that would put you at exactly 1 inch, and that would mean you would be exactly in engagement range. So your 3-inch distance from the enemy was a guaranteed charge, or 2,99999. So your 2,99999 distance from an enemy was a guaranteed charge. right now, not only there's no guaranteed charges, but your minimum charge will be a 3. You need to get a 3, but you need to get the exact distance. So yeah, charges are a bit more difficult now. So it makes sense to have this move. So what we're gonna assume is that we landed at 2.1 inches of distance from the enemy. That means right now, as we move 2 inches further back, they will actually need to hit a 5 on their charge. So that does help. That does help. So it does make this reactive move, which was much more, which kind of useless before, it just made it a bit stronger. It just made it that much easier. So we are now in the charge phase, and I think this will be quite interesting. I don't believe we actually have any shooting with our captain. Our captain is standing right there, preparing to take control of that point. So we're not going to do any shooting. He does not have any target. We're going to go into the charge. Now this is of course another great difference into the charge. Let me demonstrate for you. I think we talked about, but this is going to be a great clip. So here we go. Let me prepare this for the clip. How charge works in 11th edition. Let's say you have an enemy right here, and you have another enemy right here. If your unit is here, you do not declare a charge. What you do is you're gonna roll, and in this case we only get a 3 if you can make any of the charges you're able to declare. In this case, we're not going to be able to do any of them. We are more than 3 inches from both of the enemies. But if you were able to hit any of them, you could then attack any of them. That's how it works. So we are actually not able to charge this unit. This unit is over 12 inches away, so we're never going to get it. So to actually hit this unit, for my calculations, we're going to need at least a 7. So we are going to try and charge. But we're gonna need a 7 to do it. And we actually pulled off an 11, which is very interesting. So again, we won't be able to hit there. We would definitely need not by much, but we definitely would need a 12 to hit that. But our 11 is actually enough. So what happened here is Marble used his free CP. So Marble has the captain, which gives 1 free CP per turn. So Marble re-rolled that charge using our free CP. So each time we can, each of our battle rounds, in this case, shield captains give you 1 free CP. So we actually are able to charge into this Terminator here, which is very interesting. That will give us a possibility to kill a unit in this turn, which is our objective. We are, of course, now in the charging phase of and like we said, we are gonna need at least a 5 for our Blade champion and his 3 wardens to hit the bikes due to their move that they did. Yeah, because Marble gets a free CP and he still has 2 CPs. So the Blade champion is able to re-roll the charge. And he gets 8. So we are able to slam right into him. And we are gonna go into this. We are gonna go into this fighting phase. This actually does not bode well. To our bikes. So on to, let me see if we are gonna do anything else. Not much we can do. Gold is having their bikes there in some difficulties. We'll see, one has 1 wound left and the other has 4 wounds. So we're gonna roll first our six blade spear attacks. So again, hitting on 2s. In this case, of course, we're gonna go to melee. So as we go to the fight phase, as we are 6 inches away from any enemy, we are gonna choose our stance, which will be, in this case, Rendax, where we're gonna get lethal hits. So no lethals, but they all hit. Our strength is 7. The toughness of the Virtus Praetors is also 7. That means on 3s, but of course we get +1 to hit, +1 to wound as well on the Lions of the Emperor. Again, that's our detachment rule, and if anytime we are 6 inches away from another unit, get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. That means that instead of wounding on 4s, we're gonna wound on 3s with our Guardian Spears. And we wound actually 5 of the attacks. This is AP -2, so that means that they will be saving on 4s. And this is actually a very difficult moment for our bikes. They are here in trouble. It's very possible that they can die right here, and there's still the Blade Champion to come. Oh, and they save 2, but 3 attacks go through. That means one of the bikes is dead. And not only that, a further 4 damage goes through. That means the other Virtus Praetor is actually down to his last wound, which I don't think is gonna help at all, because we still have the Blade Champion. So let us choose a profile for the Blade Champion. The Blade Champion has 3 profiles. A Behemoth with 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 7, AP -2, damage 2. Or Hurricane has 9 attacks, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1 with sustained. Behemoth has precision but does not matter here. Or we have Victus with strength 6, AP -3, D3. Gives him devastating. In this case, I believe the best choice will actually be Behemoth, though it has less AP and less damage. We do get that strength bonus, and we do get that extra attack, so that makes us, even though we don't have devastating, we still will have lethal hits. So we're gonna go with that. Actually, this is kind of an interesting moment where we can run a statistical probability, which is something that I've always been wanting to do. Against an enemy with 1 wound and toughness 7, what profile of the Blade Champion would have a better statistic probability of killing? And exactly like I said, They are both extremely high chance to kill. But in this case, Behemoth is expected to do 3 kills on 1 wound models, while Hurricanus would fall slightly behind. Victus would fall to only 3.33 expected wounds. Give me a total percentage chance of 1 attack go through. So when I say statistical probability, what I want is what is the percent chance of each of the attacks go through. Considering both Rendak's stance or the Katarai stance, so considering giving lethal or sustained. So create a little table where it shows the probability of each attack to go in with both lethals and sustains. Oh, I don't know what happened to my phone. Be right back. Bum, 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 bum. Technical difficulties. All right, we are back. Sorry about that, fam. Had to get my camera back up working. Wasn't working very well. It went down. But yeah, I was running some statistical analysis. Very interesting indeed. Okay, don't really need hit chance, wound chance, or save chance. I just want the success percent per attack. And then, considering there's like different number of attacks and also different probabilities of getting more attacks or skipping saves, or skipping saves or skipping hit wound rolls, I mean, for the different relevant toughnesses, just show more or less how much damage it projects. Ignore the one wound part, just to put expected damage per attack. Ignore the expected kills, just put expected damage per attack and expected total damage instead. No, you're not calculating properly because you have a probability with sustained to get more attacks. Why did my chat go away? That's sad. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for joining. We are playing 11th edition. This is Marble vs. Gold series. We are Purge the Foe versus Priority Assets. I got my camera back working. All should be functioning properly now. Just 1 second. Yes. So as I was saying, much more likely once we do the 6 attacks here with Behemoth, we're gonna have strength 7. So 6 attacks, hitting on 2s. Wounding on 3s. Oh, that was terrible. Can't believe he might get away with it. Which would be fun because he would get to fight back. I wouldn't mind it. So he is of course saving on 4s because this actual profile has only -2. Oh, I didn't check if I have any, if I forgot my lethals. Yeah, we're saving all 4s. If he gets 2 4 pluses, that would be so awesome. And he's dead. 2 damage goes through. No, sorry. Yeah, 2 damage goes through. He does die. Unfortunately, I was hoping that would be not the case. And that one attack, that one skill that was the least used and the least useful, the least practical to use, has just became that much difficult to use. Yeah, it's just difficult to use. It simply will not be very useful. So we're not able to consolidate. Oh, let me double check actually. So what are the 11th edition consolidation moves again? Oh, what a bad move. So what happens is, since the bikes actually fell back towards the objective. Very interesting. Since I was able to charge and pile in, so you can see it right here. Since the bikes actually were here and they were actually slightly touching the base, and I was able to charge into here, I am now able to move a 3-inch and actually get into that base over here, which is quite interesting. I'm able to try to contest that objective, and seeing that I have very interesting. I will gain control of this objective in theory. Let me show you. See, what happens is, as this unit was defeated, I am now able to move a pile into the direction of the objective. I have 3 inches to be able to move in the direction objective. That actually puts me in touch with the objective. So I'm able to move inside that area. So I might actually gain control. But that would be actually after we now actually have to run these quick attacks. There's no chance he's gonna survive. We're gonna have to run these 15 attacks. Did I only run 8 attacks before? I should have ran 15 attacks. Anyway, it doesn't matter, I won, but yeah, I think that was dumb. There's also no way that he's gonna survive here. Five. So hitting on 2s. This is strength 7 versus toughness 7, I think. Yeah, toughness 7, strength 7. So wounding on 3s because they get +1 to wound again. Ooh, a lot of 1s. And 2s. I mean, a lot, not a lot. But quite enough. Enough that he might survive. Enough that he actually might survive. And these are AP -2, so he's saving on 4s. Now, sadly, 4 attacks goes through. That's 8 wounds. That would kill him twice over. But very interesting turn. A lot to learn. He does get removed, and that actually brings us to a very positive and okay, we need to go actually check the details for the mission. Here we go. We need to check the details for the exact purge the foe mission. So it's not the meat grinder one. Not triangulation. It's not this one either. Wrath of Destruction. Any battle round, when end of your turn, at least one enemy unit was destroyed this turn. 3 VPs. So yes, we did kill actually 2 units, which is very interesting. And we get last turn we killed more units. And we might... And yes, we control more objectives as well. So this is very interesting indeed. Oh wait. in this excitement I actually completely forgot to do the secondary missions. So for each enemy unit that started the turn within range of one or more objectives and is destroyed. Yeah, we got overwhelming force and forward position. You must break the enemy line. So when drawing, if this is the first battle round, you may draw a new secondary. You shuffle this back into your secondary. So we reshuffled that one and we went to get secure no man's land, control 2 objectives in no man's land, and we did. We definitely did. End of the turn, you control 2 or more objectives within no man's land. Yes, and we did. We did not do overwhelming force, but gold did do secure no man's land. And we didn't get behind enemy lines. No, what is the center ground? What is the exact center ground? End of your turn. One or more friendly units, excluding aircraft or battleshock units, are within 3 inches of the center of the battlefield, and no enemy units are within 3. Interesting. So it is just the center of the battlefield. And yes, we are within, I believe, yeah, we are within 3 inches. I would easily say. I would have consolidated towards that. When we killed him, I would definitely move towards the center while still staying within. So definitely, and no, there was no enemy within 3 inches of center. So very interesting, very interesting. We are going into the command phase of turn 2, and now we're gonna start calculating. We do control 1 center objective. We did survive over there with that control. with very interesting over there, as we have to go and calculate. But no, gold will not have control. Because and that's quite interesting. So again, let us go back to primary missions. Important to make sure we get everything battened down, and everything correctly. Optional step is the twists. The twist is probably going to be fun to try and do. Destroyer's Wrath. Any battle round. End of your turn. One or more units are destroyed this turn. Second battle round onwards. End of your command phase. Or end of your turn. So we will not score. Marble will not score this at the end of So we will not score anything here. Oh, interesting, interesting. So we will only be at the end of our command phase. So we don't score anything in the command phase of the second turn. Or end of our turn. So it's only the kills on my turn? No, so it only counts kills on my turn. So kills I get on the enemy's turn do not count? In the previous turn? It's a bit confusing for me. But I guess I know what they mean. So Marble actually killed Wow, so this actually is quite a disadvantage if you go second. I mean, not really. Depends how many units you kill. Oh, it's strange. End of your command phase. You control one or more objective. Control more objectives. Okay, so interesting. Should have saved those guys. Should have kept them alive. But yeah. Second battle, end of command phase. You control one or more objectives, excluding your own objective. First, let's do gold. Okay, let's see gold. Vital link. You control one or more objective. Any battle round, end of your turn. Okay. Second battle, end of command phase or end of your turn. You control. So right now is just the command phase of gold. Went first and has vital link. You control one or more objectives, 2 points. You control, yes, one of those objectives is a central objective. Yes, it is. Yeah, good haul of points for gold. Interesting, interesting. So, movement phase. So, reinforcements deep strike can be at any time during the movement phase in 11th, right? 8 inches from an enemy. So yes, we are going into turn 2 of gold. Gold definitely has some work to do here. But gold does have reinforcements coming. I'm sure they will be happy to know. So I don't break everything. Alright, so considering gold, we want to control the opponent's home objective. Oh, I should have lifted. I should have uppy downy. Oh, that camera died again? Anyway, thanks everybody for joining the stream. That'll be it for today. Bye for now. See you later.